In this session, I'm going to talk on the topic collection. So this collection, um, like it is a core topic in Java programming language, and collection. The definition of collection is um, the collection of objects. Uh, we place the collection of objects in a place. We call it as a collection. All right. So collection is used to have n number of objects together. All right. So again, so that we call it as a collection. And collection is categorized into three. One is list, the other one is set, and the other one is map. So we're gonna see, we are gonna look at a list in detail. All right. So before we get into the list interface, so these are all list, set, map are all interfaces. Collection is categorized into three major collection is categorized into three. One is list, set, and map. All the three are interfaces. All right. And then let's have a look on the collection interface, methods of the collection interface. It does have many methods, like add. It takes a object parameter. Add all. It takes a collection parameter. So the first one, add object, it will add the object to the collection. Add all, it will we pass in the collection, so it will add the collection to the existing collection. Right. So clear, it removes all the elements in the collection and contains one more method which takes one object. It will check whether the parameter object does it exist in the collection, and contains all. It takes a collection parameter. It checks all this collection. I mean the objects that are within the collection, does it exist in the invoking collection. And then equals method, it will check whether the parameter of it takes one parameter, object parameter. It checks both the invoking collection and the object parameter object are equal. And then hash code, it returns the hash code of the collection, invoking collection. Right. And is empty. And iterator is used to traverse traverse through the collection. Remove, it will remove the object. So remove all, it will remove all the collection. Remove all, it takes one collection parameter, it will remove. Retain all, int size. To array, so to array, it returns an array that contains all the elements. So it will return the array. To array will return the array that contains the objects of the invoking collection. All right. So that's, and then let's have a look at the list interface. It obviously list interface, it has a method named add. And then this add method, it takes the index value and the object. So it will place the object in the specified index. All right. Add all, again it takes the index value and then the collection, so it will place the collection in the specified index. And get method, so we need to pass in the index value, so that this get method will fetch the data, fetch the object that exists in the specified index value. And then index of, we pass in the object, it will return the index of the object, last index of so this will fetch, this will return the index of the last occurrence of the object. alright, and list iterator, it will return the list iterator that can be used to traverse through the collection. Alright, and list iterator again, it takes one index value, returns an iterator to the invoking list that begins at the specified index. So okay, and then remove set sublist. We can, there is a method named sublist that so returns a list, the so if you would like to have a sublist of the collection, then we can fetch using this method. We can make it using this method. And one more method, set method, that assigns the object to the specified location by index within the invoking list. Alright, so I believe if you would like to make a note of all this stuff, then just pause the video and make a note of it. Alright, so and then this as I said, like, we are going to see the list interface in detail in this session. So list interface, till now we have seen few methods of collection interface, and then few methods in list interface. Now let's see the list interface implementation classes. So list is an interface, so obviously some implementation is required. So list is implemented by three classes. Major implementation of list interface is by it. Major implementation of list interface or through Arraylist. Alright, and then linked list, and then vector. So let's see Arraylist. Arraylist, it is a class that extends abstract list and implements the list interface. Alright, so it supports the dynamic arrays. The size of the array can grow as well shrink as per the requirement. Alright, so almost it is like 50 percentage of its size is increased when there is a need for space in the array list. And then alright, this array list class, it comes with three constructors. So one is empty constructor, and the other one, second constructor, is it takes one parameter, that is collection, and then the third version of Arraylist, which takes one parameter, that is the int. So here the third version of Arraylist, which takes one parameter, that is the int, which specifies the capacity of the array list. All right, the size of the array list. And the second version of the Arraylist class, which takes one collection as a parameter, so that Arraylist is initialized with the collection. While its creation, this Arraylist is initialized with a collection. Right, the first version of Arraylist, which is created as an empty Arraylist. Alright, and then linked list. So this Arraylist, we will have a elaborate discussion in the program. Alright, in the when we key in the code snippet, let's I will elaborate on how it should how we need to make use of it in the real world programming. Alright, let's see linked list. Linked list class, this class extends abstract sequential list, and it implements the list interface. Alright, and it does have two constructor. One is a linked list empty constructor, and the other one is the other constructor, which takes a collection parameter. That collection is assigned during its creation. All right, and it does a few methods like add first, add last, and get first, get last, remove first, remove last. So these are all the methods which we don't find it in the array list as well list interface. All right. So this method add first, it takes a parameter, object parameter. It is used to add the object at the first index value, and add last, it is used to add the object at the last index value of the linked list. Get first, it is used to fetch the data of the first object, and get last, it is used to fetch the data of the last object of the linked list. And remove first, remove last, it is used to remove the first and last object of the linked list. All right. And then let's see, you can see on the screen vector. This vector, again, it's an implementation of the list interface. The difference is it is synchronized. Vector is synchronized. All right. um, it is very similar to Arraylist, but but vector is synchronized, and it contains many legacy methods. All right. And this vector is re-engineered to extend abstract list and implements the list interface. All right. And then here it comes with four versions of constructors. One is empty constructor, and the second one, it takes the integer value that is used to decide the size of the vector. And the third version takes two parameters. One is size, and both are integer. One is size and the other one is increment. So it is initialized with size. The vector is created with size, created with a specified size, uh, created with a specified size. All right. I mean, and if there is a requirement, if there is a need to increase the space, then it takes the second parameter increase, and that's been applied. The third one, vector, it takes a collection parameter, and which is assigned as the initial value. All right. Let's yeah, see in the program. All right. Let me create here. I just create a class. All right. Um, manipulate list. All right. So that's the name of the class. I make a check mark in the public static void main. I click on finish. Okay, here we need to have few inputs of the classes. Java dot all the collection classes that falls under the util package. So java dot util array list. All right. Java dot util vector, then import java dot util fine. Here I have imported few classes like java.util arraylist and vector and then linked list. All right, so let me take let's work on the array list. All right, so let me create an object for this array list. Array, first you need to type in the array list and the object name al equal use to create a new object we normally use a new keyword new and then again the array list. Right, here uh, um, okay, so let me add data to add object to array list. So how do I add? So I believe till this yeah, you understood. We are I believe we are on the same page. Now we have created a class named manipulate list, and within the main method I just created array list object named al. Alright, using the new keyword, and here constructor, it is an empty constructor. Alright, so let me create. So what are all the constructors we do have for the array list? If you want we can have a look here. See, it takes three. It does have three constructors, one empty and the collection. It takes one parameter collection parameter and then the capacity. Right. Fine. This array list. Let me create al. So I would like to add some object to this array list named al. Okay, so I key in al dot. So a pop-up window which lists out all the methods that are applicable. So let me select the first. You can see add object, right? Add object. It takes add method and which takes one parameter object that returns a boolean value. All right. So let me select that and pass in the some object value. The object here let me give java. Okay. Similarly again one more object add and select the first add object al dot add and is. I'm just giving a string object, so you can give any object. All right, so you can give even the numeric numbers, and that's been taken as an object. All right, al dot add. Again, let me give is the so let me okay. Now I have added objects to this ArrayList al dot ArrayList al. Okay, so let me print the ArrayList al. All right, using the system dot out dot println. So I just pass in some text just to say that class manipulate list okay. So within the system.out.println, I just given some text, class class name and main method, and then al is passed. All right, the ArrayList object name al is passed, so that ArrayList object al gets printed. All right, so let me run the program then and there, so that we may not get into ambiguity. All right, so let me run it outright. So I just let me run. I'm just running the program. You can see the output in the console. It shows, see here, I'm just highlighting class manipulate list, that is the name of the class, and then main method, and it you can see the array list object al uh, elements. I mean, what are all the elements that are part of this array list uh, al. It got printed in the outstream. Java is the programming language, or so each and every string, it is an object of the array list al. All right, so this is how we create the array list, and we add objects to the array list using the add method, and we print it in the outstream. Fine. Okay, so let me show you. Okay, let me show you how to remove it. All right, so now I would like to remove. Okay, so how do I remove? So al re, just I type remove. When I start to type remove, it shows a pop-up window with some few methods. All the methods are remove methods, but with the different parameters. The first one, the first remove method, it takes one parameter, which is the integer, which specifies the index value, so that will be removed. And the second one, and it returns the object. The first one, remove method, it takes the integer parameter and returns the object, so that object is removed, and it shows it to the end user. Second method remove, which takes object as a parameter and returns a boolean value. If it is written removed, the object true will be written, otherwise false. Third method remove all, which takes one collection, which will remove the complete collection from the array list al. And the fourth one, which is a predicate, which takes one argument, that is a predicate. Let's work on it and see how it works. All right, the first three, I believe you got it. So normally we we make use of all these first three remove methods. All right, so let me remove one object from the array list al. Okay, I select the first, I give some number. Okay, let me give it as 4. Okay, it returns object, right? So out.println removed from array list al. Okay, here you can see the fine. And then let me print class manipulate. After removing the object 4 from AL, using remove okay. So here let me what I have done, I have used a remove method. Here you can see al dot remove. I have passed in the 4, the numeric number 4, integer value 4, which denotes the index value of the array list. Alright, so whatever the object that exists in this index value 4, that will be removed from the array list AL, and then I print the array list again. Alright, so let me see. We will run the program then and there, so that it would be crystal clear for us to go ahead. Alright, see, in the console you can see the program got executed. The object is removed from array list AL colon language. So so here you just see, this is the content of the object AL. So it starts with 0. The first object Java index value is 0. Alright, and then it goes on. So 0, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth one is the language, right? So the object is removed from array list AL is language. Fourth one, language, got removed. So after removing the object from array list AL using remove 4, you can see the output, you can see the content of the objects of the array list AL. Java is the programming, so language, it is it doesn't exist in the array list AL. Alright, fine, I believe you got it. So and then we can see the index. Alright, we can see the index of method in array list. The thing is, like, I have just added and removed a value. I have just added few values and removed a value using the add and remove method of array list. Right. So similarly, it works for linked list as well, vector. The thing is, vector, it is synchronized, and linked list, it is implemented as a double linked list. And all right, so the name the way it works, I mean the methods, few changes, there are few changes between this array list, vector, and linked list. All right, so but obviously all the three I mean that implements the list interface methods like add, remove, contains, index of. These are all the methods of list interface. All right, so here index of, we have, this is used to let me, okay, here what I do, dot index of, I just pass in the if I this index of method is used to fetch the index value of the object. All right, so upfront, if we know the object and we would like to know the index of the object, then we can make use of this method index of. We need to pass in the object so that it will fetch the index value and return it in the outstream. Alright, so index of, you can see it takes object. Let me pass the value programming. Alright, and it will return the index value of the programming object. Arraylist AL to fetch index value of object programming. Okay, let me make it as a single quotes. Let me run it. So I have just printed a statement system.out.println, and some text is given inside it, and I try to call the index of method on the object AL, Arraylist AL. Okay, and I have passed the string object programming. So this will fetch the index value of the object programming. Alright, so before that, let's see the programming, where does it exist. So you can see Java, it is in the 0 1 2 3, so it has to return 3, right? Let's check. Let me run this. See, you can see the console, the output, the index of method is applied to Arraylist AL to fetch index value of object programming. What is the index value you see here? It is 3, right? So the console I am just highlighting, it is 3. Alright, fine. And then you can see a particular object, you can make use of the contain method. So contain, right? So again so here you use dot l dot, you can see contains and contains all. So contains method which takes one object parameter and it returns the boolean value. Alright, so let me select, and I will this method will check whether this object exists in the Arraylist AL. If it exists, then it will return the boolean value true, otherwise false. Let me give Java. Okay, so contains method is applied to Arraylist AL to check an object Java exists in Arraylist AL. Okay, let me run it. See, it got we got the output. You can see in the output console, the contains method is applied to Arraylist AL to check an object Java exists in Arraylist AL. The value is true, right? It is given true because Java. It is a part of AL does have the object string object Java, right? Already we have seen it here. String object Java. Fine, and then all right, iterator. So you can use the iterator. So just create a for loop. Okay, inside this create the iterator itr equal. See, how do we create the iterator? What is iterator? Iterator, it is used to traverse through an iterator, it is used to traverse through a collection. All right, here the collection is Arraylist. So iterator, it is created using the keyword iterator. You can see here iterator keyword and then the variable for it. All right, and then just the array list al and press the dot. Okay, al is the array list, so object name is al dot array list object name is al dot. So it pops up with a few methods. Select the iterator. You do see different iterators: iterator, list iterator, which takes one integer parameter. Select the iterator, just it returns the iterator. All right, so that iterator is assigned to the itr iterator variable. All right, and then uh, suffixed with a semicolon, and then itr dot as next. Select the method as next. This method as next, what it does, it will check whether the array list does it have any other element uh, within the array list. All right, the JVM will check this is there any element exist in the array list. If it exists, then it will the control gets into the for loop, otherwise not. So let me select this. All right, here within the thing I just create one object ob equal, because we need to fetch the data, right? Fetch the element from the array list. So now iterator dot next. Okay, okay, here it shows you don't need this actually. Fine, now we got the array list object, and it is to, you can see the method itr dot next. This next method of iterator, it will fetch the next element of the array list, and it is assigned to the object ob. All right, and then I just print the object here. So object ob. All right, here if you want we can make a statement saying that we print the array list objects using iterator. Print the array list al objects using iterator. Okay, fine, now you can Okay, now you can see in the, let me run this, so that now you can see in the console the array list objects, Arraylist AL objects that got that gets printed using the iterator. All right, we have created the iterator we have created a for loop, and inside that iterator is created using the iterator keyword, iterated method. And as next is used to check whether is there any object exists in the array list. If so, it is fetched using the next method of the iterator, and it is assigned to an object, and that object is printed here. All right, let me run this and you can see the output. See, this is the console. This is the console. Here you can see print the ArrayList AL objects using iterator, and you can see the AL objects here, Java, and then is, and then the, and then programming. These are all the string objects that exist in the ArrayList AL. All right, fine. So now you know how to use the iterator, right? Okay, and one more this iterator, one more iterator. You would have you would have noticed when I create this iterator, that is a list iterator. List iterator, it allows us to traverse um, um, forward as well the backward objects of the array list. We can it does have methods like just let me show you here. For list iterator ltr equal al dot list iterator. So this will ltr dot as next. See, this is the list iterator. So here you can see many methods like ltr dot, and see iterator doesn't provide the option to traverse backward, but list iterator, it does provide to traverse both backward as well forward. All right, you can see the method next as well, next as well previous. All right, so next will fetch the data, next will fetch the next element exist in the array list al, and the previous, it will fetch the previous element that exists in the Arraylist AL. All right, and you can see, you can check whether uh, is there any element, is there any object exist using the as next, as well as previous. It is used to check is there any object that prefixes the current object. All right, you can check all those stuff. Next index, you can fetch the next index, and previous index value can be fetched. So these are all so next index can be here. Let me give the next, and one more int I, ltr dot next. next index. So this will fetch the next index value. So if I print this, then it will be different. I mean, it will print the next index value, but this option, these methods, these features are not available with. They are not available with Iterator. Right here. Okay, let me run. Oh, it is not printed, right? So I have to print here. I didn't print. I have to print here. Next index. Now let me run. See, you can see it prints both the object as well. In a statement I have given to print the objects of the array list AL as well. I just I have given the next index text and then the next index value. I have called the next index method, and which fetch the next index value, and it is assigned to the I integer variable. So that I integer variable is printed here. So in the output you can see this is the object, and then next index is 1, and then you can see is, and the next index is 2, the next index is 3. So it goes programming, the next index is 4. All right, so the difference is list iterator allows us to traverse both the side, I mean both backward and forward, and it allows us to check is there any object exist on both the previous as well on both the side, like using the um, methods, using the methods like um, as previous as next. All right, and next and previous methods are used to fetch the objects of the object, I mean array list. Fine. Okay, let's see. I believe if you would like to make a note of the code snippet, you can pause the video and make a note of it. All right, and just um, all right, let's see the linked list, and all right, let me create linked list. All right, ll equal new, again linked list. Okay, here I have created a linked list object ll. Okay, let me add few objects. All right, let me use the see, just key in the ll object name and then dot. It pops up with few methods. Here you can see add all, and it takes one collection parameter. Just select that and pass in the. So already we do have one more collection al, right? So just pass that. I believe okay, it takes the array list collection. It takes boolean. All right. And let me print it. I believe the Alright, let me create one more Java has alright Java. Let me create the objects for this linked list. Alright, here has n number of concepts, right? Or features. So here linked list ll, I just print the linked list. Okay, fine. What I have done, I have created a linked list named ll using the new keyword, and I have added few objects like as we did with Arraylist al. Alright, add method is used, ll object name dot add linked list object dot linked list object name dot add, and then pass in the string object, and then I printed the linked list object. Let me see, let me run it. See, in the output you can see linked list ll, the value, the objects of the linked list ll is Java as n number of futures. So these are all the objects. Okay, and linked list array list, it is used for like random access. It is used for fast iteration and random access. All right, make a note of let me make a point here. Array list is used to I mean array list is used for fast iteration and random access, wherein linked list is used to make quick insertion and deletion. All right, so using linked list we can make quick insertion and deletion. So that's a future linked list does have. It does have many methods as we have seen. Let me show you here. See, you can see add first, add last. You can add and remove as well, fetch from the first and last of the linked list collection. Right, so let me use all those here. Let me use all those in a single statement. System dot out dot println here so it's gonna return, the first one is add first, right? So let me add the first ll dot add. You can see the first, just pass in any text, Java, right? So top, right? Now I have used one method. I have used one method at first within the system.printout system.out.println. You can see at first top. Yeah, I have used the linked list object ll dot add first method is called, and then I passed in the string object top. So this object top will be added to the linked list named ll, and it is placed in the index value 0. All right, it will be in the first object of the linked list ll. All right, and let me add at the last. So for this there is a method named add last, right? Call that method add last and give just bottom some text. And just giving a text. Okay, this method. All right. So these add first, add last, these methods don't return any values. All right. So these methods shouldn't be used within the system.out.println. Just hold on. So let me place it in the separate line. Right, it shouldn't be within the system.println statement. So and let me call one more method ll dot okay. Now I have added, so I would like to print the after adding in both the end of linked list ll. Let me run this. You can see two see, now you can see in the console, after adding in both the end of linked list ll, the objects in the linked list ll are, see, you can see top. I have added using the add first method, and then the normal java as n number of, which is those string objects are there, and then at last you can see the bottom object, string object, that that's been added using the, by calling the method add last. You can see here, right, add last bottom. So that's been added using the method add last of linked list method, linked list class method. Right, fine, let me show you one more. Alright, just to fetch the data, you can use this. Put the end top and bottom of linked list. So how do I fetch? So I am gonna fetch the data, first data, using the get method. So get first, so it will fetch the first method. All right, and then space first object and the last object. For last object, how do I play again the linked list object ll dot last. You can select last object. I mean, sorry, get last. You can see get last. Yes, this will fetch the last object of the linked list LL. So let me run and you can see the last object. See, in the console the output is fetched both the top and bottom of the linked list. You can see the first object is top, alright, and then the last object is bottom, alright. So we have you using the get first method and get last method. Okay, all right. So we do have one more few methods like push. If I call dot push, it will take one string object, which is one object, all right, object as a parameter. I just pass in some value, eclipse, right, then let me print the linked. Let me print the linked list. After calling the push method, okay, let's see in the output you can see after calling the push eclipse in linked list, you can see the eclipse that is pushed on the top of the linked list, right? So that is placed on the top of the linked list. All right, let me use the peak. All right, one more method is there, peak. Ll dot peak, this will return the object, all right. So push method, you got to know that this method will, whatever the push method, it takes a object parameter, whatever the method object you pass in, that object will be placed on the top of the linked list ll, all right. And this peak method, it returns an object, okay, and after system dot out dot println peak method, here you can see after calling the peak method, let's see, let me run it. See, I have you can see peak method. When I call the peak method, it I mean it shows it takes it fetches the first topmost object, string object eclipse in the linked list, and it print it in the, I mean it prints it in the output stream. I mean it takes Eclipse. I mean it takes the first string object in the linked list and print it in the outstream. All right, that you can see the Eclipse. And after calling the peak in linked list L, you can see the list of objects, string objects of the linked list LL. All right, it is similar, right? There is no changes, but peak it is used to fetch the topmost object of the linked list. Let me use one more pop. There is a method. Let me use that ll dot pop. So this will, it returns the object. Here okay, pop. Let's see. After that I would like to after calling the pop in linked LL. Okay, so let's run. There is a method pop which you can see the pop method is called, and it fetches the, it removes the Eclipse, it removes the first object of the linked list. All right, the first object of the linked list is Eclipse. So you can see it here. I have highlighted in the console pop colon Eclipse. That object is removed from the linked list, and then I have printed the objects of the linked list LL, which shows top Java as n number of features bottom, but it doesn't have the Eclipse string object, so that object is removed using the pop. So whenever you use the push object, um, it places the object at the uh, top of the linked list. All right, and when you use the push pop object, when you use the push method, it places the object on the top of the linked list, and when you use the pop method, it removes the topmost object from the linked list. Okay, I believe let's move on to the vector. All right, one more vector. This vector again, it's an implementation of the list interface, and let me create the vector using the VL, again using the new keyword. So vector, again this is synchronized. All right, so vector is synchronized. So that's the future vector as let me create, I believe some, okay, vector is created, and let me add it is similar to Arraylist and linked list. The future is, it is synchronized, and all right, it is used for random access. All right, so let me add few objects. Add object, and again let me okay, here string, so collection object, and then list. Okay, array list, so some text or less some string objects, and I'm gonna print this here. Let me print the vector value. Vector here you can see the vector VL. Okay. See in the console you can see vector VL. Alright, the objects of the vector is string, collection, object, list, array list. All these objects, string objects, are passed in using the add method, and that got inserted in the vector, and using the system.out.println it got printed in the outstream. Alright, we can use the iterator, and it does have methods like to add and remove. We have added. If you would like to remove, we need to give system.remove. You can pass in the one object. I mean, the argument, the index value can be just say 3. All right, and then you print the so vector VL after removing the after using remove 3 method. Okay, let me run and you can see the output. See, vector VL after using remove 3, now the string is string, collection, object, and array list. See, actually the the index value starts with 0. Here the complete vector is here. The objects of the complete list of objects of vector is here. It starts with 0 for string, and then 1 for collection, and then 2 for object, and then 3 for list. We have given the number 3 for the method remove, right? So this list is removed. The list, this string object list is removed, which is in the index value 3, and then array list, that's how it works. So you can see in the output string, collection, object, array list there. All right, fine. I believe this see array list, linked list, vector does have a few more methods. If you want to explore all the methods, it does have see just what you do, VL dot, for example VL dot, you can see a list of there is a pop-up with few methods. Just explore all those methods if you would like to have you know if you'd like to know if you'd like to work on each and every method, it is good to work on each and every method to have a better knowledge on these concepts. So please go explore uh, on all the methods. So all right, so this session would have given you, I believe this session would have given you much knowledge on the collection, and then specific to list interface and list in implementation classes like array list, linked list, and vector. All right, let me catch you with other topics like set interface and map interface in the upcoming session. Please do subscribe to the channel Java Track and click on the bell icon to get notified on new post. If you like this session, please do share with your friends and well wishers. Thanks for watching. Bye.